Welcome to the Rugby League Outsiders prediction video. This is the only prediction video on the internet that counts, in our opinion. My name's Craig.
And my name's Karl, and it's time for the big dance, Craig. Grand final week. We had two great semi-finals, and it's going to go up another notch. Can't wait.
Yeah, so just one match to cover this week. It kicks off at 1800 on the 12th of October. Coverage starts at 5, so make sure you don't miss that. I love the build-up of the grand final. It just gets me so excited. So I'll definitely be checking in for that. What's the tale of the grand final then, Karl?
I suppose we should look at the semi-final, shouldn't we, before we head into the grand final. So the semi-final, Hull K.R v Warrington, was an absolute nail-biter. Exactly how everybody thought it was going to go, backwards and forwards. Hull K.R just found that extra way to grind out the win, and the defensive effort was extraordinary. Wigan's was a slightly more one-sided battle, and they come out on top in that.
Yeah, the way I'm looking at it right now is Wigan are almost like Darth Vader and the dark side, you know what I mean? Like they're old stagers, very clinical, like cutthroat, you know what I mean? And they've got lots of experience. What is this, their 13th grand final appearance, chasing their 7th win. And Hull K.R very much like Luke Skywalker, you know what I mean? They're just
new boys on the block.
The new boys on the block that are trying to cut it, against this formidable force. And it is relatively hard to... I think this is a grand final where we could look at it and go, this could go anywhere. I think some people got an expectation of how it's going to go, but it could go anywhere.
Yeah, there's definitely a possibility that both sides can win this, and that's why it's such an exciting grand final. Do you think the semi-finals plays any relevance at all to how we head into the grand final week?
No, I don't. I think when you look at where people finished in the table, I think that's a fair representation of how they're performing right now. Lee had a little spurt at the end of the season, but fell short in the semi-final. I predicted that was going to be a bit of a whitewash by Wigan, just because, like I said, they're a formidable force, and Hull K.R Warrington have been kind of duking it out all year. And although that was a relatively close game, I don't know if Hull K.R have got enough to take on Wigan. But we're going to get into that in a minute.
We'll get on to that in a minute. I enjoyed both games at the weekend. But yeah, the first one, Hull K.R Warrington, was exceptional, wasn't it? And just to see the fight from Hull K.R to get themselves into that grand final was awesome. But yeah, Wigan weren't tested as much. But like you say, we spoke, didn't we, the week before about the importance of winning the League Leaders' Shield, and it kind of showed off. Yeah, you finish top of the league, get home field advantage, and you play the lowest ranked side in the semi-final, and the difference between the two sides was evident. Obviously, it goes up a notch this week with Hull K.R, a side who could well have beaten them last time they played for the League Leaders' Shield. I mean, there's a try in it, 2 yellow cards to Hull K.R. You could say probably swayed that game. So yeah, going into this week's finals, Yes, I can't wait.
I completely agree with everything you've said. Obviously, when we look at key personalities as well, I think both teams, they've got a couple of injury concerns, but almost a full complement of players, I would say.
It's not really down to injury concerns. It's more down to what the head coach is going to pick as his strongest starting line. There's players on both sides now who've kind of put one foot through the door wanting to be in that side. I mean, Sam Walters had an incredible game. He was formidable on that pitch at the weekend. 2 tries. Do we think he's going to push his way into that side? But Liam Farrell's back this week. So, yeah, Matt Peake's got a bit of a dilemma there, I think.
Well, I think there's a bit more to it than that. There's a real chess game going on because obviously they know their opponents, right? They've got a good idea of what that team's going to look like. And it might not be, right, okay, we play our strongest side. They might play players that they know can deal with the opposite number in a better fashion. Yeah. So, I'd love to get insight from Matt P and Willie Peters right now as to the strategy behind it. We may never know. We'll have an idea at the weekend, but you know what I mean? We'll never get that. But, imagine kind of the racking your brains right now thinking, okay, right, how do we deal with Michael Lewis? How do we deal with Elliot Minchella?
Yeah, well, there you go. That's the tail of the tape on the other side, I suppose. Elliot Minchella is back this week. He's more than likely, you would have thought, going to be back in the side at loose forward. But then you've got Dean Hadley, who again was probably one of the best players on the pitch on Friday night. He's made a mistake for starting. I don't know. Maybe he'll move into the second row.
Yeah, I think the call there is you've got to stick with the trend. And the trend is Elliot Minchella has been performing to a high level, outstanding all year. Stick with the trend. I think Dean Adley potentially, all right, might not have had the exposure, the game time of Elliot Minchella, but he's not the trend. It was like a blip, wasn't it? You know,
no, it wasn't a blip. 59 tackles he made at the weekend.
No, I'm not. Yeah, he had a great game. Yeah. Everyone can have a great game, but the trend is Elliot Minchella. As you know, if you're going to like put your, it's a bit like Reece Martin kicking,
right.
And you know, it's like you could pick anyone out of Leeds. Anyone out of the Leeds team could kick a conversion on their day, but the consistency is with the trend is you give it to Reece Martin.
Yeah,
you know, and it's that's the kind of thing that I'm kind of talking about.
So if should we look at the strengths of each side then, and where we think it maybe won and lost this grand final?
Yeah.
So talking about defence then, I think Wigan have got probably the best defence in the league. I don't know about points difference actually. I don't know how many points they've conceded compared to Hull K.R. I'm sure somebody will put it in the comments as they do each week. Defence though, Hull K.R. have got a great scrambling defence that we saw on Friday night against Warrington. Their goal line defence was really good and really organised, and when they needed to scramble, they scrambled really well. Wigan's defence though has been solid all year. I think Wigan have probably got the fastest line speed of any team in Super League. Would you agree with that?
Oh, they absolutely just take time and meters off every player. You know, it just looks like they're playing at a completely different pace to everybody else because of that initial 5 to 6 metre dash off the line into collision. And
then attacking wise, both sides have got threats all over the field, haven't they? You would say Wigan have got the more structured attacking side. They play a similar shape on sort of third, fourth tackle. You'll see it time and time again. Try and release French and Field, don't they, out the backfield. Hull K.R., they've got like people, little moments of brilliance and players that can sort of, like Mikey Lewis can pull something out the bag that you wouldn't expect. And there's a bit of a difference there between the two attacking sides. Looking at a grand final as well, it's always relatively tight, isn't it? And I always feel that winning a grand final is probably not down to a structured play. It's down to those moments of brilliance, which is why I think Hull K.R. stand a chance in this final.
Oh, you'll be without a doubt they stand a chance. So, should we get into it and put some predictions on the table? So, first of all, we're not just going to do the general, the normal match prediction. We want like a bit of a steer on the score, what we think the score is going to be, the winning difference. We're also going to look at like who we think is going to be the first try scorer.
Right, yeah.
And also we're going to look at obviously the newly titled Rob Borough Player of the Match. Okay, so they're the they're the kind of three things that we want to look at. Obviously, tail. So Wigan have won 6 out of the last 6 games, running into the grand final. I know this kind of form goes out the window. Come a grand final.
Yeah.
Hull K.R. interestingly have lost just 1 of their last 6, and that was to Wigan. Like you said, they kind of. They lost the
that was for the League
there.
Leaders Shield, wasn't it? So what we're going with first? Game prediction?
Yeah, I think let's go straight into it. Game prediction. I'll tie my colours to the mast.
Right, go on then.
I think Wigan are going to be too strong. I really do. I love the romantic idea of Hull K.R. winning in their first final, and I pray that they do. But I just think Wigan are going to be too strong, too powerful, too clinical, and I think they're going to take the win.
I've got to sadly agree with you.
Really?
Yeah.
I really thought you was going...
No, I think having watched Wigan all year, they know how to win big games, and they had a little bit of a blip in the season earlier on. Like I say, it'd be great for Super League and Rugby League in general and as neutrals to see a new name on the trophy. But I think Wigan, they've got the big game experience. Yeah, now they've been playing consistently all year. I think Wigan's defence will be too tight for Hull K.R. and make any holes in it. Okay,
well, we're going to come on. We're going to do our match, the score prediction in a minute, so stay with us. But before we do that, a couple of things. First try scorer. Who do you think is going to be the first try scorer, and for who?
For Wigan, and I think it'll be Liam Marshall.
Oh, that's a great. I think first try scorer is going to be Wigan, Joe Wardle.
Right, okay.
Yeah, that's that. All right, so the Rob Borough Player of the Match. Who do you think?
Well, this is I feel like I'm just coming out with a really obvious answer here.
Yeah, same.
I think Bevan French is probably the most dangerous man in Super League. And you only have to look at his try that he scored at the weekend. He just created it himself out of nothing. I think he's I think he's set for the big stage, and it wouldn't surprise me if he just pulls something out of the bag. Yeah, I mean, both in structured attack and just some maverick move that he decides to come up with. I think he will play a big part in this grand final. So yeah, I'm going Bevan French for the man of the match.
Yeah, I was going to go Bevan French, but I'm going to change. If you've gone Bevan French, I'm going to go a little bit, and I'm wondering if there's a fairy tale finish for someone like Junior and Semba in this game. You know, who is a massive favourite in the media.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I'm
yeah.
not saying he don't perform on the pitch. We know he does. So I think him. I think, you know, there's potential for obviously if Hull K.R. do go on and take the spoils, there's a potential for Mikey Lewis.
Yeah, I'm going to say if Hull K.R. win this game, I would say it's probably down to something that Mikey Lewis is going to pull out of the bag. And if Hull K.R. win, I'd say Mikey Lewis will probably get man of the match.
Yeah, well, you can only have one. So
I'm going Bevan French.
Right, okay. I'm gonna go Cade Ellis, I think.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, and I'd say
he's had a solid season.
He's had an unbelievable season, and he's an unbelievable player. Like, you know, he's got the hands of a halfback. Like, he passes as well as any halfback, you know, and he runs like a forward, and he actually does a hell of a lot. So I don't know. I just like the way he performs, and I think, you know, if you can pick him, you know, if he can build himself up to a big game. Don't get me wrong. My first choice is Bevan French, but outside of that, I think Cade Ellis got a bit of a possibility.
Right, okay, so we've both gone Wigan then.
Yeah, okay, so we're going to move on to like the points difference now. What do you honestly think the points difference is going to be?
I think there'll be a few tries because there's plenty of players on that field that can score. 20 points to 12, I'm going with.
20 points to 12. Well, I think there's going to be like a 2-try difference, and I'm gonna say it's 18 points to 6. I think Hull K.R. are going to get an early try. It's going to give them plenty of hope and faith and belief. But I think we're going to like get him in the guillotine or get him on the rack and just stretch him out, and then ultimately just take the win there.
Going for the 4th trophy of the year as well out there, so it'll be an absolute clean sweep if they pick up the grand final.
Yeah, and retaining that as well. So all right, so as always, in fact, we did get a message from Bevan French. Let me just read that out. Just a sec, I'll just get it there. He said make sure you like, subscribe, and comment below. So if you haven't done, please do, and whatever your predictions are, stick them down below. I love reading your comments and all the little arguments that go on.
Yes.
And I know I make mistakes sometimes. So I'm happy to take the flak for that.
Oh, you
so,
got called out big time last week, mate.
Yeah, I know I did. And I apologise to that all day. Hull K.R. fans that were... No, it was Warrington fans, wasn't it? That were, I don't fucking know. I'm getting old now.
I remember.
Right, anyway, we're waffling. So until the next video, take care.